Has someone ever annoyed the absolute shit out of you, only for you to realize later that maybe, just maybe, it wasn't really about them? Let's unpack that.
Hey, this is Francisca, and this is my mid-crisis life, and I'm coming to you at the end of a very, very, very tired Sunday. So exhausted. I've had such a busy week and a really busy weekend, and I'm really tired. But irrespective, there was something that I really wanted to talk about, so I'm gonna do it. My apologies if my energy is not off the charts right now, but very tired. Um, so when I went to go and do ayahuasca the very first time, I went to a place and we did 4 nights of ayahuasca all in one go. So every night you drink, and whatever happens to you happens, right? And everybody has their own experiences, everybody has their own journey, everybody has their own learning. Yeah, it was certainly mind blowing for me. But one of the stories that they told while we were there on, like, I think the third day, or maybe the fourth day, or something like that, they told this story about this woman who had come, and every night that she laid down to drink the medicine, she would be next to someone, and she would have to move for some reason because this person was irritating her. She couldn't stand people that were crying. She couldn't stand people that were making noise. She couldn't stand people that were doing this, that, and the other. And she always ended up back next to this one person. And every day she complained, "Can you please move me? Can you please move me?" Anyway, towards the end of the week, this one person that she had constantly ended up next to, and she was just like, not this guy again. Turned out this person came to her at the end of the week and said, look, thank you so much. It was like every time I needed you, you just suddenly turned up. Your presence was so beautiful. I felt so nurtured. I felt so safe, whatever else. And they told this story. And the funny thing is that night I went into ceremony, and yeah, this must have been the fourth night. So it's the fourth night that we've taken medicine. There's no surprise. It's the same shit every night, people. You drink medicine, you lose your fucking mind, you deal with some traumas, or, you go and meet aliens, or you speak to God, or whatever it is that you're doing. You deal with some shit, you create neurogenesis in your head, and then the medicine wears off at some point the next day, right? We've been through this before. Anyway, funnily enough, I found myself sitting next to this woman who the entire fucking night, was just crying and moaning and wailing and begging for help and getting naked and stripping off and being like, "Oh, I'm too hot. Somebody help me. Somebody help me." It was like all fucking night, yeah. And I just remember sitting there thinking, like, get it together. Get it together. Stop fucking crying for help all the time. Stop being so fucking vulnerable. Like, just sort yourself out, grow a pair, yeah, and go through what you need to go through. Like, you're fucking annoying. You're like super jarring, please. Like, you are pathetic. You're absolutely pathetic. And it was jarring me all night, right? And the next day, I look back, and I probably haven't told the story about the woman properly because I feel like there's a point that's missing, right? But the point of that story was that oftentimes the things that are around us are triggers for, like, internal reactions, internal responses. And that actually, if we look more at ourselves than what the other people are doing, then there's a lot to be learned, there's a lot to be gained. And what I realized from having this experience with this woman who was like going on and on and on, fucking on, yeah, was I realized that I have a real problem with asking for help. I have a real problem with asking for help with being vulnerable, with saying that I can't make it, with saying that I'm struggling. And it really showed itself in the personification of this woman who clearly had no issues with asking for help, being vulnerable, with saying she was struggling when she was. Me, I'm the type of person, if I'm struggling, I will figure it out by myself. I'm more the type of person to go into myself, to isolate myself, than let anybody know that I'm struggling, because I equate that with vulnerability. Now, when this happened to me, I had two choices. I could have continued looking at this woman and saying that what you're doing is annoying, because I'm not going to lie, it was annoying. It was like, shut up, like, stop wailing all the time. You've literally been wailing for 6 hours. Like, you're sitting in your bra, you're bent over, you're shuddering, like, and like calling for help. I was just like, oh God, like, get it together. But anyway, so I could have just been like, you're the problem. Everyone's looking at you. Clearly, you're the problem. The problem isn't me. How could it be me? No one's looking at me. I'm doing my shit over here in the corner quietly. I'm dealing with my shit. Or, number two, I could have said what I realized, right? And I think that very often we as individuals struggle to see the correlation between the things that are annoying us, the things that are triggering us, and the things that are inside ourselves. I really, really think that the things that trigger us about other people are either things that we have unresolved. So they're things that we know that we do, that we wish that we didn't, that we see other people doing, and it jars the fuck out of us. Or they're things that we have resolved, but we worked real, real hard to get to that point, and we're like, how comes you get to do it when I didn't allow myself to do it? But always, people around you, particularly people that you have like an emotional reaction to, particularly when there's like that emotional trigger, or that like what's the word, emotional I can't think of the word. Anyway, when there's an emotional trigger, oftentimes these people are here to teach us. These people are here as a catalyst for growth, for learning, for reflection, for self-awareness, right? For critical self-awareness. So why am I talking about this? So, since I started my Instagram page about 3 weeks ago, and I started putting things out there, I've had a lot of really, really positive feedback. However, I've also had some negative feedback, which I spoke about in another video. I'll put that video here if anyone's interested in hearing about that. So when I was going through my comments, because it really did have an effect on me that anyone ever should say anything negative about me ever, right? Because that's not allowed, and I need everyone to love me in order to be able to exist in the world. But when I was looking through the comments, what I realized a lot of these negative comments, like 80% of them, were coming from one person. There is one person who consistently keeps on saying negative and nasty, cruel things to me on my Instagram channel. So, to give an example, here are some of the things that he's commented. So, on one of my reels, he commented, so delusional. On another one, he commented, paying to advertise how much of a failure you and this page are is pure comedy. He wrote, people forget that not every character is the star of the show. He asked me, are you a bird's eye baby mum? I don't even know what that is, but I'm guessing it's some kind of derogatory comment. I don't know. He wrote 260 posts for 120 followers and paying for promotion, laughy face. Your dream and vision is clearly delusional and not going anywhere, but you have the perfect face for radio. And then most recently wrote, and this one's a little bit concerning, wrote, have you got any availability to attend an upcoming funeral? Not got a date just yet, but I would very much like to get my hands on and secure a performance of this service for myself. Thanks in advance. Kiss. That to me sounds a little bit sinister, like this guy might be planning my funeral. And it kind of makes me think about like that whole like fans fanatic thing and how many people actually do get killed by people that watch them. But more than anything, I think the reason why I bring this up is because this, right? So my first initial reaction to this kind of behavior is like, why are you still on my page, bro? Like, just fuck off. Like, go find something to look at that resonates with you a little bit more. Like, my first, like, kind of ego based survival instinct was to, like, snap back and correct his spelling and, like, do really passive aggressive, condescending things like that, right? Because I'm really fucking good at doing stuff like that. But the more and more that I thought about it, the more that I thought, clearly, you're here for a reason. Clearly, you continue to look at these reels for some kind of reason. And who am I to say what that should or what that shouldn't be? I feel like if you've been pointed in the direction of something and something keeps on coming up in your face, like literally my reels keep coming up in this guy's face, there's a reason. There's a message. There's something to learn, right? And it makes me think about that whole thing of being triggered. I think clearly there must be something in what I'm saying or what I'm doing or how I'm presenting or the words that I'm using or the energy that I'm putting out there or the message that I'm trying to deliver that must be a trigger to this guy. There is clearly something in him that is emotionally charged. That's the word I was trying to find before. And emotionally responsive and emotionally receptive to whatever it is that I'm putting out there. And it's kind of like, it's not my job to tell this person, maybe there's something in here for you, bro. Like maybe that's why you can't stop looking at it and commenting and engaging. You're engaging with the content. There's a reason you're doing that. As much as I would love to, it's not my job. It's not my role to do that. It's completely sanctimonious. It's really arrogant. It's very conceited. It's like, I am your guru, bro. And you just need to learn from me. This is what it is. But it's kind of like that whole thing of people really underestimate and undermine those people who are negative catalysts in our lives. The people who have either done the worst thing to you, treated you poorly, really made you question your very existence, your worth, your value. The people who really have like shaken up your sense of self through the way that they behave, whether it be your parents, partners, ex-partners, particularly, I don't know, friends, ex-friends, the postman, people who say mean things about you at the shop, that really confrontational mum at the school where you drop your child off at, or some random chick on Instagram that keeps putting reels out in the hope that it's going to help people. People really underestimate and undermine how beneficial these people are in our lives. Everything can't be this beautiful, expansive growth where you just meet, I don't know, monks that are going to carry you up the side of a mountain so that you can get self-enlightenment when you reach the top. Like, it's not all like that. Most of the time, it's people that piss you off and make you think about the way that you're behaving. And oftentimes, the people that piss you off are the people that are bringing something out of you. They are the biggest catalysts. How are you going to respond to this? How are you going to take this as a lesson, as a blessing, rather than as an affront, And it's kind of like, I feel like with this guy, maybe if he spent less time looking outwards and a little bit more time looking inwards, then he might see whatever it is that he's supposed to see. He might understand whatever it is that he's actually responding to, rather than whatever it appears to be on the surface level. And I think it's a really good lesson that we can all learn. Don't be so quick to react. Don't be so quick to label something as unhelpful or negative or rude or annoying or irritating or frustrating or triggering, you know? It's triggering for a reason. It's there to help you, it's there to show you something, it's there to teach you something. So, as much as I really don't hope that this guy is planning my funeral and cordially inviting me to it, as much as I don't hope that's the case, what I do hope the case is that maybe at some point, the thing that keeps on flashing up in his face, saying, look at me, there's something that you need to look at here, that maybe he finally does that. And if whatever anger or irritation that he feels towards whatever it is that I remind him of, whatever that is, I hope that can only be beneficial in the long run. Yeah. Okay. Something that I'm grateful for. I think I'm grateful that this guy is also being a mirror to me, and that it could have been so easy to snap back and to be rude and to be in my ego and to think, how dare you tell me when you're the dickhead that keeps on looking at my face? Like, I'm really grateful that he also has aroused something in me, reminded me and allowed me to remember that all things, all people, all experiences, all lessons, no matter how beautiful or how difficult they are a blessing if we choose to perceive them as such. If we are hungry and inquisitive and we want to learn, there's always something to learn. Yeah. Okay. I think that's it.
So what's one thing or one person that's been triggering you lately? Instead of reacting, what do you think it might be trying to teach you? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you're into deep self-awareness, healing, and real unfiltered conversations, make sure you're subscribed. This is just the beginning.